Hello Libra, welcome to Dove and Serpent Tarot. My name is Paul. If Libra is your sun, moon, or rising sign, this is your tarot card reading. Remember to hit the like button, leave a comment, consider subscribing to the channel, especially if this reading resonates with you. If there is anything you would like me to pray over or meditate upon or send positive energy toward, please let me know. Now, this is going to be a general reading, so try to be open and receptive to whatever may come through during our time together. I am merely the messenger. And I ask you to connect directly with each of these cards and use your own intuition to take you beyond the details that I might provide. And remember, Libra, that the most important part of any tarot reading is you. Five of Pentacles. You've always been a problem solver, right? I feel like you've always been good with your hands. You've always been good putting things together. I think you very often take things apart just to put them back together again. You like to rebuild things, right? Or recycle or upcycle. Yeah. So maybe you do that currently. Maybe you do something technical. I was kind of thinking furniture, kind of, upcycling. But I feel like you do something else. You build computers, or you build, I don't know, something with more complex components. But I feel like right now you're kind of, maybe you're not really in the middle of any of these kinds of projects. I don't know why they've been put on hold. But I feel that there are other things going on in your life that maybe have put some of these kind of natural talents and skills on the back burner. Okay, and then maybe there's some financial thing going on, or there's something, some kind of, I don't know, some kind of a battle almost that I feel. I don't know if it's something financial, something that's more like bureaucratic. There's some red tape or something, but I feel like you've kind of been in the middle of something for a while. All right. Let's do a few more cards and see where this is taking place or where it might be taking us. Well, we've got the High Priestess here. The High Priestess is kind of a card that says go with your gut, right? It's a full moon energy, what the High Priestess is. And I think that this is really the discovery of some new information that's going to help you to get through this, whatever this period of time is in your life. Okay. So it's kind of interesting that you like to take things apart and see how they work and put them back together and watch them continue working. But I feel like there's something here that you've kind of looked at in that way, and we can't figure out how to make it work. So this is something that's kind of telling you to trust your intuition. I feel like you're fighting with a family member, right? I just felt like an interruption, that there's something else going on, that it's not this kind of life situation. It's something with an interpersonal thing. You're fighting with a family member or a friend or a neighbor or something. There's like an argument happening. Yeah. And so with this, now the High Priestess is maybe even us opening up to this particular situation with this friend or family member. Now we got to do some more cards. Because at first I felt like, okay, well, is this financial or this business thing or this, whatever this is, we're waiting on some paperwork, or you're waiting on a settlement, or, something like waiting on your disability, waiting on your retirement, waiting on, some sort of a legal thing that's going on, some sort of bureaucracy or whatever. But now I'm feeling that there's actually something else bothering you. And the High Priestess might even be saying that you need to take a look and realize what really is bothering you right now. I don't think it's this other situation. I think it's what's going on with your loved one. Okay, well, we might have two messages. I think we might have some crossed wires here too. Because now we've got a continuation of the earth energy. You're somebody that has generally a long-term plan, but it's under the surface now, right? This is the card that's down below. So maybe this is kind of what's concealed. Maybe whatever's happening right now is kind of keeping you stuck in the moment. stuck in the day-to-day, right? To where you might not have that long-term plan anymore, right? Let's say we've had a falling out with a friend or a family member. Where do you see this going? You know, is it you're just never going to talk to them again for the rest of your life, or is there some resolution here? Is there some point in the future where you can see things changing, right? I think the High Priestess is trying to illuminate a lot of what's going on with you. We're not just talking one thing here. There's a lot of different messages here. And really it, I think, is us looking at ourselves and being honest with kind of what is bothering us, what is going on, what do we want, what is our future, what is the goal that we see in mind, how do we see this playing out. The Knight of Pentacles is the energy that looks at the future. It's about having long-term goals. It's about seeing the end result, the picture, the vision of the future that you want, who you want to be, where you want to be, what you want to be doing, you know, a year, 5, 10 years down the road. And then working our way backward and realizing and accepting and admitting what I need to do right now to make that happen. This is kind of the card of karma, right? Well, let's keep going here and see. Well, now we've got the another card of karma. This is the Justice card, or the Adjustment card. And for one, on this, continuing with this kind of business thing or whatever this financial thing is, it does seem like we're waiting on some sort of red tape. We're waiting on some sort of a judgment or a decision. It could be a legal thing. It could be something with the bank, a loan, a business, you know, something along those lines. But then this is also the card of, when we take it in context with the High Priestess, we're kind of wondering here, this is kind of the card of discernment, of judgment, right? Of judging a situation. And almost it's almost like you're at this kind of, you're at a stalemate. You've got this impasse. And you don't want to be the one to reach out and reconcile or make amends or apologize or patch things up or whatever. You think they should be the one that does that. And this is kind of the card that says, well, that's, you know, that's your prerogative, and if that's your decision, then that might be their decision too, and then nothing's going to take place, nothing's going to change. So if we understand what our future result is, what is the win here, what is the goal, then we can start making decisions. And maybe we've got to just, you know, if we want a certain goal, sometimes we have to be the one to step up and say, you know, I want something else. I want to go, I'm sorry, or, you know, that we have to be the one to reach out sometimes, okay? Otherwise, it seems like things are going to stagnate further. But let's continue on with the cards. Chariot card. You could be having an issue with a Cancer person in your life. And really, they could be as stubborn as you are. And so it seems that the reconciliation here, it's kind of like both parties are saying, well, they should apologize to me. You know, I'm not going to be the one to do it. I'm not going to be the one to reach out where I shouldn't have to. It's not fair, right? The Chariot card is also a card of home and a card of family. I feel like it's a family member. I feel like it's probably a Cancer person. This is also in the context of this other situation, this financial situation that's going on. I am starting to wonder if this is something to do with a home or with property or with a deed or some kind of mortgage or some sort of finances related to the home. Okay, it could be really talking about paying the bills, or you know, maybe there's a home repair that needs to be done. I feel like you're not always forthcoming with how you feel about things. The Chariot, we see there's a lot of armor here, you know. And so there is this kind of almost a defensiveness. Yeah. Where, and maybe this is kind of how this thing started. Maybe you felt like you were being attacked by this person, metaphorically speaking, not physically, but that they were coming at you with some energy that you didn't like, and we kind of armored up, right? And maybe since this happened, things have been really on hold. There's been no progress. There's been no steps toward the future. There is really not much of a perception of the future, of the end goal that we want. We think of the Cancer energy with the Chariot. We think of the crab, right? Or we think of like a turtle or something, right? When the turtle is feeling threatened, it just goes into the shell and doesn't come out. And therefore, it's not really going anywhere, not doing anything. It's not continuing on with its life, reaching the other side of the lake where there's a bunch of food or whatever. It's just kind of stopped, right? It's a chariot that's not moving forward. So there's something like this happening right now, okay? Let's do the last card for the path of the dove. 8 of Pentacles. Patience is needed. I feel like this is also a card of healing. This is a card of restoring something to wellness and health. Okay? 8 of Pentacles. It's not just a card of sudden healing. Now, I also feel, Libra, that you do have some kind of like gastric stuff going on. You have a very sensitive stomach, right? And I feel like it's really, it's worry. Yeah, it's worry that's doing that. Maybe there have been ulcers, or there's been indigestion or acid reflux, some GERD, something like that, right? The 8 of Pentacles is a kindness that we kind of that we deal out to ourselves. You know, we're trying to heal, and we're looking for wellness, and we know that the health of ourselves, physically, mentally, emotionally, the health of our relationships, the health of our lives, it's a very delicate thing, right? It's kind of like all these systems are kind of fragile, and we've got to be careful with them. And we sometimes have to, sometimes we got to swallow our pride in order to achieve the wellness and the health and the well-being that we're looking for. And so this is kind of a gradual progress. This is patience. This is nurturing something, being very tender with something, being gentle, right? Being very gentle. And so I think in terms of your relationships, this is very important. In terms of this financial or this business thing, I kind of feel like you should err on the side of caution. I feel like we stick to a budget, we pool our resources, and we try to prepare for the worst. Okay, let's hope for the best, but we're gonna prepare for for something else, right? So we're saving up money. We're sticking to a budget. We're tightening the belt a little bit. We're being very cautious with things. We're not making any big moves or big expenditures or anything like that. Not making any big purchases. I feel like this is really taking things slow, and not overdoing it, not overextending ourselves until we see how it's going to play out. Now, the High Priestess, in the terms of the full moon kind of energy, and there's illumination, right, with the full moon, and it's kind of this opening, the widening of the aperture, so we can let in more light, and we can see things for what they really are. So I think by looking closer at this situation, you'll see the way forward. You'll see what needs to be done in order to help things get back on track, to help get things back in the black, right? So there's something going on, and if this is a business thing or if this is personal finances, there's a leakage somewhere. There's something going on that you don't yet know about, and if you see it, if you look at it, it'll be there. It'll be obvious. The way forward will present itself, right? So it may even be that we're wrapped up in this personal situation with this family member, and then we're not really paying the attention that we need to this financial or this business thing, and there's something that's slipping underneath your nose. Okay, whether it's it's an accounting error, or it's a paperwork error, or it's some kind of a leakage of money somewhere, or of resources that you're not aware of. We look at that with that High Priestess, and with that full moon, that wide aperture, and we see it, and it's obvious. And then we kind of know how to get back on the road toward wellness. Okay? The road to wellness is what we're looking for. Now, let's select the mystery card, bonus card, confirmation card. This is a random card from the Smith-Waite Tarot. This is the factor infinite and unknown. It's going to go over here. We're going to put Alien Simon Mork Ripley right there on top. Now, we're not going to look at that card until the very end, but it will tie everything together and it will give us the confirmation that we need. If you have a prediction for that card, put it down in the comments. We're going to do it together. Okay. Now we're going to talk about the path of the serpent, though. And as I do this, I would like to ask for your subscription. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do. Totally free. And it really does help out the channel, and I really do appreciate that. I feel like there are a lot of new viewers on this reading. I feel like a lot of you are kind of skeptics in a way. You know, a lot of you are kind of very empirical. That you kind of you tend to believe what you see and hear right in front of you in that moment. Okay, and let's look at our general energy on the path of the serpent now. Empress energy. There is the wellness. There is that perfect happy life that we want. This is a nurturing kind of quality, and didn't get much of that over here. We got kind of a defensiveness. We got a kind of sense of justice or fairness, the facts of the situation, you know. But with the link with this intuitive high priestess energy, it's kind of showing, and really it's what the Knight of Pentacles is looking at the paradise, looking at the best life, the happiness, looking at maybe the family being together and being whole and being happy, right? Looking at, even with the financial whatever situation, looking at that as being completely resolved. Now it's paradise, land of milk and honey, right? So this is the outcome that we're really looking for. This is what you want. And I feel like with this card, what we want is very dependent on what we give to it. So we're going to get out of it what we put in. Whatever you contribute, it's going to kind of equal your reward, right? But if there is this stubbornness, if there is this, we've armored up and we've gone into the shell and we've halted the chariot, then we're not putting anything into the system, right? So we're not going to get anything back out. But as a general energy, though, I feel like you're a very nurturing person. I feel like you really do care underneath all of it, and you know, it's affecting you in a very deep way. Though we don't have any water cards here, but the Empress is telling me that this is something that you really care about and you want to heal. You want to be part of it. You want to reach out, but there's something in you that says, it's a matter of principle. I can't be the one to do it. You know? But I feel like this is affecting you because you have this very like caregiver kind of energy. I think you like taking care of things. And I think I think you're a sensitive person. Okay, I think that things really do affect you. You take things personally when they do happen. And so sometimes it's difficult to see beyond that. Sometimes it's difficult to see beyond our own kind of hurt feelings, right? Let's see what's in the environment. 4 of Cups. This is, again, a card. This is representing the moon in Cancer. So what we have here is the moon, right? The moon in Cancer, in the chariot. The moon shedding light on this chariot energy. So I think that this is really a card that's encouraging us to kind of go beyond our hurt feelings, right? It's a 4 of Cups. It's stabilizing your emotions. It's not being happy, not being sad. It's just kind of being just even. It's just, you know, baseline kind of things are calm. It's okay, right? The boat's not sinking. There's no holes in the boat, but we're also not sailing into this kind of extreme euphoria either. So it's in that kind of energy that we're able to really shed light now on our behavior, what we're doing or not doing, and then also being able to see things. If this is really a family member that we're talking about, and maybe even a Cancer person, I feel like this is you trying to understand things from their point of view, trying to understand what their motivations are. At the same time, we're looking at our own behavior, and we're looking at those things that maybe how we have contributed to the kind of disorder that we're currently experiencing. Okay. So I think that's what the 4 of Cups is. And the 4 of Cups really might just be a card of forgiveness, right? It might be a card that just says, I'm going to try not to take anything personally. I don't care who did what, or who really is going to take the blame in the kind of, official sense. It's kind of like just, it's all under the bridge. It's all water under the bridge. It's all in the past. And this is kind of like maybe just a fresh start, right? That maybe we're just trying to get over things and have a particular kind of like release or a forgiveness, right? And forgiveness isn't that we're accepting the blame. Forgiveness isn't saying, I'm admitting this is my fault. It's just kind of like washing the slate clean in a way, right? So that might be an important energy for you. But what is the difficulty? What's the obstacle here? The Six of Cups. Things aren't going to go back to how they were. I think the Six of Cups very often is a card of, well, in a way, it's kind of like a card of childhood memories, It's kind of a card here, at least in the way I'm experiencing now, is this kind of, this idealism that we have. We kind of thought like, back in the day, everything was perfect. Why can't we go back to the way it was? Why can't things just be how they were? It's kind of like, it's almost a nostalgia for the past. For the perfection, the harmony that we experienced in the past. But I feel like this is in the card of the difficulty. One, because we know we can't go back to the past, so how do we stop kind of wanting this? But I also feel like maybe things weren't as perfect as you thought. Okay? That, going back to the past, well, the past had its issues too. It wasn't it wasn't the harmony that you're kind of thinking it was. Right? So the only way to go is forward. If we want a Six of Cups, the only way to get it is to go forward. I don't think this actually existed in the past. I don't think it was ever this good. Okay, so it's kind of like we're angry in a way that we can't go back to the perfect state of the family or friends, or maybe it's a work environment, I don't know. We can't go back to that perfect state of harmony that we used to have. Well, no, of course not, because it was never there. And also, time doesn't flow that way for us here as humans, right? What is the final outcome in this situation? Princess of Wands. Well, the Princess of Wands is sometimes impulsive. It could be that both of you were acting a little impulsively. And sometimes now with the Princess of Wands, if we're going back to this financial situation, we may realize that we were a little bit, frivolous with our spending, that we kind of, we got carried away a little bit, and that's all right. We've seen the problem, and now we're healing from it. We're fixing it. We're getting back on track. Sometimes this card is really about just doing the darn thing and not thinking or feeling too much about it. I feel like, Libra, you're in a very emotional kind of state, right? I also want to point out, and I didn't mention this, but this is your power card, okay? The Justice or Adjustment card. That is your superpower card. But I didn't ring the bell this time because I feel like I feel like this would be us going back to that discerning and judging kind of energy that maybe is not the superpower we're looking for right now, okay? And I don't think this is going to be a very popular reading, but it is what it is. And I feel like maybe even this situation here is taking you out of your superpower, right? That it, with the idea of the adjustment, the kind of the judge, the balances, the scales, I feel like we've kind of lost a sense of what's really important to us. We're giving too much weight to this other thing here, and we're not realizing that if it is the Six of Cups that we want, that kind of harmony, we're holding on to something that's not giving us that. That's not going to allow us to even achieve that in any kind of future. Right? So I feel like our priorities are weird right now, But the Princess of Wands, it's, it's earth and fire. It sometimes is just taking action without taking the time to feel how it affects. Because with this water energy, and even with the Empress energy, it feels like if you tune into your emotions, you're not going to take any action, because I feel like you're going to get mad or offended or hurt, and you're not going to do the thing. I feel like you have this impulse to reach out or to do something or to make a change or to make an effort, but your heart kind of pulls you back. And your heart says, no, I'm not the one to do it. I didn't do anything wrong. Rather than just kind of swallowing all of that and taking action and reaching out just because we want to create this kind of, happy, future, right? Let's look at the mystery card. Let's see if this gives us, maybe this will give us a confirmation of the future. Maybe this is some piece of information that we don't know that will kind of help us to bring all of this together. If you have a prediction for this card, put it down in the comments. The Temperance card. The Temperance card sometimes is about the balance between our heart and our mind, right? The balance between action and inaction. And it's it's asking us about the recipe. If you know what your future is, you want this, what's the recipe for success here? How do you go about creating this Empress life for yourself? You want to bake a cake, you don't get out the the chili pepper and the salt and the soy sauce, or I don't know. You know what I mean? Like it's a specific, it's flour and sugar and whatever else. I don't know. I don't know how to bake very well. But you get the idea, right? You're using the wrong ingredients. You're not going to create the kind of life you want doing what you're doing. So we need to use the right ingredients to create this. We've got to have a bit of a strategy here. We've got to know what life we want. And then we've got to be very honest about what ingredients we've been using and which ingredients we should use. Which behaviors, which tactics, which words, right? Which gestures we should be using. I feel like the Temperance card here is also us learning how to maybe not react so emotionally to what's going on. Right? And maybe we need a little bit of your Libra superpower. I'm going to go ahead and ring the bell for you now. Because maybe what's going on is that we've been giving too much weight to our emotions. I feel hurt, I feel offended, and that's dictating my behaviors. We see that there with the Princess of Wands too, that we've been acting impulsively because we're being driven by our emotions rather than invoking our Libra superpower and being discerning. Using logic, weighing the options, understanding what we want and understanding how to go about getting that, having the strategy and the discernment, the ability to prioritize, the ability to evaluate the relative importance or weight of something. That's your superpower, right? I feel like we've been too driven by our emotions, not enough by our Libra logic, right? So I think this is going to be a very big win for you. I think the illumination of all of this energy for you, you're getting there. This is going to be the biggest win of your life. This is going to make everything get back on the track toward healing and prosperity and wellness and the Empress energy. I think we figured it out. And I think that's really, really good. I think this really is going to be a success. It's going to be a big win. It really is. But you've got to accept all of this energy and really take it in and really think about it and feel it, but think about it, right? Experience it. Allow the High Priestess to illuminate it for you. Okay? Now we're going to do an extended reading as well. If you want to stick around, there is a link in the corner. There's one down below. New readings for Libra, usually on Wednesdays and Saturdays. I just got the feeling there was something going on. So I came back into the studio to film this for you. And I was right, because it started off with this kind of, what I felt was a financial or a business thing, but then it seems like that's not really the issue. is it? Yeah. So I'm glad that I decided to come back in and film this for you, and I hope that this helps you in some way. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do. It is totally free, does not cost anything. Leave a comment, let me know. Let me know where in the world you're watching from. Let me know how you're doing. All right? I want you to know that you're the most important part of Dove and Serpent Tarot. I thank you and I love you, and we're all in this together.